Hey guys, welcome. I know I said I'd do a Dueling Network Duels episode yesterday, but I've been having trouble actually finding a decent game, you know? I mean, I'm fine with finding noobs, but they've just been lasting like 3 or 2 minutes, and I want the videos to, I want a duel to at least be longer than that. And I kinda lost patience with trying to find a decent game already today. So what I'm gonna do instead today is actually my traditional bujin deck profile. Mm. So you pretty much already know what a deck profile is. So there's no need to go in detail or explain what it is. So let's just get right in it. First off, we got triple Bujin Yamato. He's obviously the key card in every Bujin deck. Always run free. Nice effect, pretty damn effect. Like I said, key card. Sometimes I see people run 2 or 3 Mikazuchis. I just run 2 because well, I'll probably I'll get into why I run 2 later on. But he's very good if any other Beast Warrior type Bujins like Yamato or Hirume or even Susano get hit, get destroyed by battle or by card effects. So if you get hit by Mirror Force and you got Mikazuchi in your hand, boom, you can special summon him from your hand instantly, just like that. It's very good. I love Mikazuchi a lot. He's saved my ass a lot of times. Hirume, I like to I like to keep it 2 because you can only summon Hirume. Well, you can only special summon Hirume if you banish a Bujin monster from your graveyard. Now, that's the only reason why I've got it at 2. But it makes but depending on what you have in the field, it can make for a very easy XYZ summon. Like I'll get into more detail about that later on. But now let's move on. Turtle, I'll keep it 2. When he's in your graveyard and a Bujin monster you control is targeted by an effect, it can just be targeted. So stuff like creature, well, actually not creature swap, since that's not targeting. You gotta remember that it doesn't negate creature swap you since it's technically not targeting you. You're picking it, but that's besides the point. It will pretty much negate any effect if you want, as long as it targets a Bujin monster. You can banish it from your grave, just negate whatever it is you're negating. And Turtle is pretty good for that too. It's for stuff like brain control, stuff like that, which I really hate. It's the stuff that won't let you get Mikazuchi out, pretty much. Right, next up, I like to have one hair because I don't really see that many uses for hair because you can't. Sure, if your opponent uses a Raigeki, you can just banish it from your grave and target one Bujin monster you control, and that can't be killed by battle or by card effects for the rest of that turn. I think. Let me just have a quick read. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Either way, that's what hair does. I only like to keep one of them because I barely do see any uses for him because, like it says, you yeah. Hang on, can't see it. Do you know players turn? Oh, never mind. I guess I must have read it wrong. Oh well. As you see, last time I was looking at it, I thought it said you can't do it in like except damage step. So that must have been my own fault. But whatever, dude. I'm obviously gonna miss something out on these cards because my memory's not too good. Neither is my attention, actually. Oh, but it rarely fucks up. But yeah. Uh, Next up. I really should run 2 of these because Quillen's been a lot more useful. If you control a Beast Warrior type Bujin, you just banish it from the grave, target one face up card your opponent controls. Any face up card, mind keep in mind. So I don't know, stuff like Gravity Bind, you can hit that with Quillen. As long as you have a Beast Warrior type Bujin out. Now here comes the next key card in Bujins. Crane. You gotta run a triple of these. These are pretty much a Bujin exclusive of Honest, except it only doubles your Beast Warrior Bujin's attack instead of adding whatever your opponent has onto it. But it's very good. I love it. It trolls the shit out of your opponent. It's really, really good with Susanoo. Or if you wanted to, you can use it with Kagutsuchi 2 or Tsukuyomi. Crane, definitely, definitely add it, keep it. Wait, actually, oh wait, never mind. I actually didn't realize I actually got 3 Mikazuchis. My bad, I run 3. I didn't actually realize that. Fail on my part. Now, obviously, since every single Bujin is light based, well, light attribute, you gotta wanna have 2 Honests. Self-explanatory, I don't really need to go into detail why. Just run 2 Honests. They save your ass too if Crane just isn't enough. Now, first bunch of spells. Double 5 formation Tenki. I really like to keep 2 because I kind of like to balance things out with what I want. Like, and I dislike running 3 cards unless they're key. Unless like the key cards to use in the deck. But Tenki pretty much nets you a free Yamato, Mikazuchi, or Harume to add from your deck to your hand. So that's always nice to have, especially if you've already got Yamato out. If you already got Yamato in like a starting hand, you can just use that and get Mikazuchi. And as soon as Yamato gets hit by some like Trap Hole, Mirror Force, you can just boom, out comes Mikazuchi right there. Pretty good. Bujin Incarnation, this is pretty much more of a last resort kind of card. Or it could be used in a different way, which I will get into later. Next up, Pot of Duality. Pretty simple. I don't need to go into detail, but there is something everyone forgets. You cannot special summon during the turn you activate this card. Everyone forgets that. You gotta learn to read the card, people. Book of Moon, pretty obvious. Compulsive evacuation device, obvious. Bottomless trap hole, obvious. Again. Double fiendish chain, 3 is a little bit too much. Especially since it only targets effect monsters. It doesn't affect normal monsters, just effect monsters or anything else like XYZs, fusions, or whatever you're using. Next up is the first banned card in this traditional Bujin deck profile, right? So banned cards are okay in traditional. Polygreed, staple. Raigeki, you're gonna have it. Oh wait, I do have 2 Quillons, never mind. Another card I didn't see. Galaxy Cyclone, I like to have 2 of because they're not always reliable. But most of the time they usually are. They're very good. Don't get me wrong. Actually, I'm debating if I should replace 1 Galaxy Cyclone. Nah, I'll just keep 2 out. Because not only does it like target one set spell and trap, you can destroy it. But if you do, and next turn you can actually banish it from your grave to target a face-up spell or trap and destroy it. So that's pretty good. I like that a lot. Graceful Charity. This works really well in Bujins, depending on what you draw with it. For example, you might end up drawing like, I don't know, 2 turtles and a hare. You can discard the turtle and hare, so they're already in the grave, ready to be used for their effects when you get Yamato or something like that. So yeah, Monster Reborn, very key, a key card to use if you want an easy XYZ summon for any of these guys, because most of these XYZ summons are going to be level 4, so that's going to be good for you. And also, and also, if you use this guy's effect, detach 3 level 4s. Well, hang on, I'm getting my words mixed up. You use Monster Reborn, then you can chain this guy's effect, detach 3, get this guy, and then boom, this guy. Very, very good. No one ever expects to see Bujins in, Cyber Dragon Infinity in a Bujin deck ever. But you gotta make sure it's in a chain. So use that, chain his effect, and you got Cyber Dragon Infinity. So that's pretty good. Storming Mirror Force, much more better. I wish this site had Rippling Mirror Force. I like the look of that card much more. But for now, Storming Mirror Force will do. I love sending their shit back to the hand or extra deck in case they have a can't be destroyed by cards effects thing on them. Really useful for that reason alone. Centipede. I never see anyone else use Centipede in any Bujin decks ever. I don't get why. Centipede's so useful. It's pretty much a free MST if you have a Bujin, if you have any Beast Warrior type Bujins. Just banish it from your grave, pop one of the cards in your opponent's back row. And it doesn't have to be face up or face down. It could be either position, whatever. Now, Sinyo is pretty much the Bujin version of Honest, but you banish it from your grave instead. And this is important to remember, your opponent only takes half the damage in that battle when you use it. And the attack boost lasts for only that battle, unlike Honest, which lasts for the entire turn. Next up, Bujin Regalia the Sword. Pretty good if you really want like Yamato or Mikazuchi or another crane back from your grave, or if you already banished Centipede, you can put that back in your graveyard, ready to use the next turn again. Kaiser Colosseum, this thing will save your life a lot. These Bujins are very, very good already because of all the cranes on this and the Sinyo. So you're only gonna really need one Bujin monster out there, which will stop your opponent from synchro summoning. It's really good, unless it's destroyed, obviously. The final banned card in this traditional deck, Bujin deck profile, Harpy's Feather Duster, self-explanatory. Chaos Zone. This is really good in Bujin decks. It supports all this banishing. You're going to be banishing a lot of these guys, so every time you put a counter on this thing, well, you're going to be putting counters on this thing a lot. Like, if you have 4 or more counters, you can just remove all counters, special summon any banished monster that's equal level to the amount of counters you removed, and then you can possibly just use it for another XYZ summon. Also with something that may save your life, like Castell. Pretty good. MST, simple, and there's the third Mikazuchi. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hang on, you just have to give me a second. This laptop's actually needing charged, and for some reason it's not letting me pause this thing. I am so sorry about this, people. I really should have charged this up before I started recording. But anyways, I'll just quickly hover over which XYZs I use. I already explained why I use these 3, so Ragnar Zero, pretty good if your opponent's got United We Stand. Castell, good for sending back to the deck. Gaga Cowboy, if you put him in defense, he's good for going for game, inflicts 800 damage. I'll let you read his effect. Silent on Art, pretty much nearly everyone knows what he's used for. Photon, really, really useful against Marshmallow and stuff like that. Susano, key card. You must have 3 of these. This is really good. Constella Mega, XYZ Dragon, and Kagutsuchi. I'm running out of time, almost 15 minutes. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.